Hey, this is Sharon Horne-Ellstrom, otherwise known as Pajama Gramma, and I have the amazing Marisa Cali with me, the CEO of Hashtags, and she is going to tell us a little bit about the magic she does for businesses and see if we can't take advantage of some of her knowledge and services. So Marisa, would you tell us a little bit about what you do as the CEO of Hashtags?
Sure. Yeah, so thank you for having me. I really appreciate, getting a chance to talk to you one-on-one. I know we've been trying to connect for some time, so I'm glad we're able to do that today. I'm the CEO of Hashtags at All the Social. I do social media strategy and coming up with digital strategy in addition to social media for entrepreneurs that have small businesses, or they're a coach, or they're an engineer. They're trying to get their face out there in the open, and how to do that on social, and how to get more people to know about them. I have a background in digital marketing. I've been doing it for about 11 years. So I can kind of help with, all the things, from websites to, setting up email marketing. But my real passion is getting to tell stories about people and their company, their why, their purpose on social media. And I help them do that through content, consistency, and visual assets, whether it's video or, consistent imagery, branding, stuff like that. So that's what I do. And I've been on my own for about 2.5 years. So I'm going through the journey of entrepreneurship, and I'm loving every minute of it.
So, I'm going to ask you what your why is and your story.
Yeah, I mean, I think
what got you to go on your own? What got you to take that leap of going out and starting your own business?
Yeah, I mean, I think when it actually happened, when I was pretty much going from a corporate job to not having a corporate job, that was an instance of, getting let go from a job. And I think this is not something that I, in the beginning, was very hesitant to share, because it was something that, it's kind of like an ego thing. Like, I didn't want people to think that I have failed. It wasn't something that I chose, to leave that company. But when I look back at all the signs, and I look back at how I'm able to grow and teach other people about business and mindset and kind of energy, the energy was not there. There was no synergy. There was no caring about the future of my career. There was no, collaboration on ideas. And I love that company for what it taught me in terms of the digital marketing side, but I also see how, that particular company did not grow with the times, so I'm able to apply that, all of my agency experience and corporate experience, into how I approach situations now, and make sure that I don't repeat the same thing. And that's really why I was able to go out on my own. And I have my own growing pains, and I own my own struggles and challenges. So it's been great, actually.
Well, it's a lot more fun doing it on your own, as challenging as it is. I worked in corporate America for over a quarter century, long time. So I know what it feels like to get fired. I mean, fired. I know what it feels like to get laid off. And after, when you actually know 100% it's not your fault, that you didn't do anything wrong, and it's just the environment or the economy or the times, it doesn't hurt. The second time doesn't hurt as nearly as bad as the first time. But that first time is pretty painful.
Yeah, it was the first time that I was I say let go, I say fired. It really depends on how I was. Kind of my supervisor, she was really awesome in letting me know that it was going to happen, and I got about 6 months notice.
Oh, so, that's awesome.
But at the time, it was like I was living in a scarcity mindset, like, oh, I need to get another 9 to 5. I was not yet at that confidence level of being able to provide a service for people, because I had worked in the corporate world 9 to 5 for so long that that's what I thought my next chapter was supposed to be. And now when I hear people, oh, I got let go from my job, I'm like, congratulations. this is the start of your next chapter, and like you get to choose what you want to do. And I've learned that over the last, it'll be coming on in February, it'll be 4 years since I got let go from that job. So
Nice.
I've been through ups and downs and twirl arounds, squirrel syndrome, all of that, So.
It's definitely, but you know what? Corporate life was like that too, though. If we think about it, I mean, if I think back to my corporate career, the same thing is true in my businesses, but it wasn't a straight ascent. It was like up and down and up and down and up and down, just like running your own business. It's just that you're in control and you're 100% responsible for it. And that's the hard part, is knowing that everything is your responsibility. I think that's the toughest part.
Yeah. I definitely.
What ever happened to me was I got let go from my last job because we were bought by a bigger company. And at that point, it didn't even faze me because it had happened so many times before in my career. It's just like, all right, well, do I want to go to corporate America, or am I going to finally just do something on my own? And I knew it was time to just say, yeah, I'm not going back to the job hunting rat race anymore.
Yeah. And that's a job in itself. It's a job title for so long my job title was job hunter, like look for a job. It takes all day sometimes, I mean, it's not just click and send out your resume. It's cater your cover letter to the company, do research on the company, and it's.
Don't you think it's hard and terrible though? I think it's kind of like dating, and I'm like, yeah, just not interested.
Yeah. But I mean, that same thing now with business and client acquisition and, prospecting and stuff. It is like dating. I mean, everything, it's all, the root of it is all relationships, and I've learned that over time. Like, I'm going to build relationships with my friends and, nurture those. And then they're going to see what I'm doing professionally and getting paid to do it. And then they're going to refer me to someone. Now, if I didn't nurture that relationship and I just closed them off, I didn't share anything with them, how am I going to like get a referral, or how are they going to know what's going on? And then in the business world, if you don't communicate with them, you don't tell them expectations, you just kind of hope that they're reading your mind, and then you deliver something and they're like, that's not what I expected. That's a relationship. That's a communication issue. So, it applies to almost everything now in my life. And it's amazing to see all of it, kind of come together. Personal and professional life is based in relationships.
Our whole life is based on relationships and experiences, but we don't even know that till you get old like me. And you're like, oh yeah, I guess that does matter.
Yeah. I mean,
24/7.
Yeah.
Favorite part about your job? What is your favorite thing, the thing you like to do best with customers and with your clients?
Yeah, I think and this happens, almost every time when I'm like really trying to, going back to the relationships things, before I even do things for them, I am really trying to find their core, their story, what drives them, what's going to represent them online. I think that some of the people that I work with, I'll share a story. I was a meeting with a lady who is specialized in like the operational side of her business. And she started sharing a story about, it's a nonprofit that I was working with, and she was sharing a story with me. And to me, like, I got chills of her telling me the story, because I was like, if you tell this story, we write it out, we have a blog about it, we have a video, we have images, and we can tell a story in like 3 months, content. People will resonate with that, because you're telling it to me right now and I'm getting chills. So how is that not going to also resonate with other people? But no one knows about it because they don't know how to like share their story. And so I think that is one of the best things I love to do, is really finding the stories from people and how to translate that into a strategy on social media, and where does that get shared and how does it get shared. So it's rewarding, because sometimes even during this time where I'm finding out their stories, that doesn't necessarily mean that we'll work together, but I'm still learning about people in the process. So
that's awesome.
It's fun. I really enjoy it.
So where can we find your story online? What's your favorite platform in social media? And
Yeah.
where can we find out more about you?
Yeah, I mean, I think people ask me this all the time. They ask me what my favorite platform is. I have, since I am in social media, I'm on all the platforms, and you can find me at all the social on, if you look across all the platforms. But I think for, like, I'll use an example on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is very much storytelling focused. I'm always telling a story about something, a struggle, an instance where I, spent my whole day with clients or prospecting or whatever. But it's very professional focused. Like, I'm not making jokes or doing funny memes, really. Like, I do have some of my personality in there where I, come up with a hashtag of the day, because it's, I call myself the CEO of hashtags, because I'm in a regular conversation with someone and I'm like, oh, hashtag been there, done that. And that's how I came up with one of the workshop series that I'm doing. And I was reading a thing on LinkedIn and someone said, oh, like, I consider myself the doctor of cybersecurity. And I was like, oh, so you're a hashtag doctor cybersecurity. And now he uses it in his content. So
nice.
I'm always trying to find, like, how can I unify that story for you and, like, into one hashtag. But so LinkedIn is very professional, but also I'm telling a lot of my business journey on there. Facebook, you see all sides. You see my interests. I'm a huge soccer fan, always posting about soccer, but I'm also, posting things to get to know people and have more conversations and really make connections. I'm involved with groups. I have my own podcast. And so that also is another channel where you can listen and talk to me. It's called Bicoastal Panda. And that's Facebook. But then I also really love visuals. I mean, my specialty for what I provide clients is in visual content consistency. So I'm constantly getting inspired by Instagram. And Instagram is just my life in pictures and being able to express who I am. So for me personally, I use all the platforms, right? But I'm not, and I use Twitter for, like, conversations and, like, quick updates. And so I'm using all of them, but they all serve a different purpose in showing who I am. And I try to implement that with my clients as well. Like, you can't just press a button and post to 5 different platforms, because that's not going to serve the purpose of telling your story. They need to be told differently on different platforms, in my opinion. So.
Well, you're the expert, so I think we'll go with your opinion.
Yeah, I mean, it works. I mean, it's worked for clients, and it's funny because, I've been in marketing and digital marketing, and I relied so much on my resume for so long. I didn't know how to get out there and talk to people. And once I did that, my challenge was getting over that and, like, actually going live and meeting people in person, telling them what I do. And that's when my business started to thrive. And it's funny because I'm like, I'm in marketing, I'm in social media, like, but I didn't do it for myself until, like, last year. And that's when everything changed. So using my own personal experience and expertise, then I try to share that with other people now.
That's fantastic, because some of us grew up in weird, funky social media over, like, at the last decade as the internet was expanding. And so we've got, like, okay, I've got a hodgepodge, chaotic, inconsistent mess in social media. So, I'm trying to clean it up a little bit, but it's pretty much like there was an explosion and little bits of me are all on different pieces of social media. But there's no consistency. So it's,
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just really, it goes back to, how do you form relationships and how are you able to, like, really identify with people and where can you focus your time and energy? I think people get so caught up on, like, oh, I need to be on all of the platforms. Like, I say that because that's how I get my message out to everyone. And that's what I do, right? But if you're really focused on B2B, like, why are you not on LinkedIn? You know, I'm not you, but like anyone.
No, seriously, I've been ignoring LinkedIn. I started a LinkedIn, I don't know, years ago, and then I totally forgot about it. And then somebody reminded me, and I've actually the last couple months been working on my LinkedIn a little bit. And especially since they started allowing video, I'm like, oh yeah, I got to be on LinkedIn. And so I'm doing more on LinkedIn, and that's where I've got, I think 30 interviews lined up, almost all from LinkedIn. Guerrilla Group and LinkedIn are where all my interviews have come from. And I'm like, all right, I can't even do any more interviews because a couple a week is about my max, more than one a day, and I'm pretty lost.
Yeah.
Because I have other things to do too.
Oh yeah. I feel you on that. I mean, it's what's worked for me. I think if you want to, take anything from that is like, do interviews like on 2 days a week, and that way you're always in the mindset of being interviewed or interviewing people. And that really helps me because, we're all over the place. I'm like, oh, I got to post on Instagram. I got to Facebook. Like I have a strategy. I know what I need to do, but I get so lost sometimes when I'm busy or there's a lead coming in and I'm like, oh, I got to handle it properly. We're doing all the things all the time.
Do you find that in different industries, and I don't know if you specialize in let's ask that question. Do you specialize in a certain industry or with a certain group of people? And do you find that on the different platforms, there's certain times you should be posting and certain types of things you should be posting? Because tell you what, I know I'm not doing what I should be at all. Yeah. I get up in the morning, first thing in the morning, I produce my content, I disseminate my content, and that's it for social media because I've got to do everything else during the day. I don't have a whole lot of time to be spending time posting throughout the day and figuring all that out.
I think, well, the first question in terms of specializing, I do have an ideal client in terms of industry.
Sorry about the dog.
It's okay. I would like to work, in the, and I have a few, contacts right now and potential clients in the engineering, medical, dental, cybersecurity space. I think a lot of them are they're very smart in what they do, book smart, but they don't know how to translate that into something where you can tell your story online. And and it's, I think it's really interesting because a lot of these companies that, that I've come in contact with, they have really good purposes. Like they know their why, they know their core values, but they're not able to attract top talent like undergrads or people coming out of college or people want a career change because no one knows about them. We're all so connected. If you Google a business and you're like looking for a corporate job and you try to look at their website or, you hear about a company like, and they're not on social and no one's talking about them, how do they attract top talent? So that is also something that I'm working with other businesses to, it's not necessarily about if you're a solopreneur, entrepreneur, like telling your story, but telling your company's story and why would someone want to work with you or partner with you or, I don't know, get your story out there. And that is one of the things that I really enjoy because these companies are well established. They've been around for a long time, but they don't know anything about online media or marketing and how to, simplify their process and, attract top talent. The people that are connected right now, like if you're 21, 22, where are you looking for a job? You're not walking around on the street looking for a job like we did way back when, you're looking online.
You're not looking in the newspaper. I found lots of my jobs in the newspaper. It's weird to say that, but I actually did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, Craigslist, even for like me, like right when I got out of school, that's where I'd look, but still, I don't even think people at, 21, 22 are looking at Craigslist. They're like hearing about a good company through the news or because they saw an ad on their Facebook feed or, someone's connecting with them, everyone wants to be an influencer now, right? And why? Because they're all over their Facebook feed or their Instagram, everyone, oh, I want to be a YouTube creator. And I'm like, okay, really? Do you want to be, or do you like, what's your why? Like, why do you want to create content for YouTube? So That's another discussion. So that's one. And then ideal time, yes and no. I mean, I think that you really have to know where your audience is and when they're engaged. There are ideal times based on industry standards, but that changes so fast that, and then like the platform changes, there's a new feature, Facebook groups, ads units, there's Facebook ads even change, like people, you know, Facebook really kind of like puts a lot of money into telling businesses, you can just create an ad, it's easy. But the people forget that the content is really what's going to help, you know, their business. And so I try to scale them back a little bit. Like, don't just boost your posts. Like, are you telling the right story? And if you're on Facebook, if you're a B2B company, I mean, why are you paying for ads? Like, your clients are on LinkedIn or your partnerships are on LinkedIn. So I think it, you know, it's a much more complex answer for ideal time. Mm-hmm. But I like to put like a schedule together in terms of ideal time. But I also, you know, we use tools and stuff for scheduling and making sure that you're on task. But I also devote time in the day to engage with people. Because if I didn't do that, how am I going to get out there? I mean, that's me personally.
Right.
It could be for you to, you know, you have to time block and say, okay, I'm going to go and work, you know, go online and check all my group notifications. Or if you feel overwhelmed and you feel like you're not going to be able to give your full self, then step back a little bit and, you know, schedule that hour into like going on Facebook groups and commenting, or, you know, whatever your strategy is. But I think it's hard to answer like, okay, this is the ideal time and this is the ideal thing you need to post. It's a constant moving thing. And so I help people with that.
That was going to be my next question. So do you help people plan their strategy so they know exactly what they need to do for their unique situation, knowing that it's going to always change? Because everything's always going to change, especially things out of control.
Mm-hmm. I think that, you know, social media, you know, everyone thinks, okay, well, I could just open up my app and just post. And that's, you know, that's all I'm going to do. I think that's one thing you can do, but it's also then analyzing it after you've done it consistently for 3 months and what's working. Like, I knew for a long time that I was posting to Facebook regularly 3-4 times a week, but I'm not getting as much engagement. Facebook changed their algorithm, like all of this. And if you're not looking at that after a month, after 2 months, after 3 months, then I continually probably still would be posting all day long on Facebook, hoping to get those likes. And but I don't really think about likes in the sense of, I mean, everyone wants to think, oh, I got a bunch of likes, like, great. But what does that mean for your business? Like, what's the value of a like? To me, it's like, is my calendar full with prospects? Yeah. Or am I busy making the right connections to then help me grow mentally, personally, mindset, all of that, you know, I'm talking about myself, but I think it applies when I'm talking to prospective clients. You know, what are you really looking for? Are you looking to grow your team and scale, or are you looking to book speaking engagements? Like, those are two separate things. Or sales. I mean, I don't do a lot of B2C. And I think there's really some great experts that I work with, you know, that do direct response marketing, that do landing pages, they do Facebook ads, all of that. That's not me. I'm here to like help you tell your story. And how does it look online? Is it consistent? And that's what I do.
I love that, because I think that that's the whole direction that everything's going, because that's what makes each of us different and unique and special. And if you find a way to communicate that and get that out to the world, that's what's going to attract the right people to you. I personally love that you work with engineers, because I am an engineer, and I'm like thinking, I wonder how my life would be differently if I would have had somebody help me with my career back in the day.
Yeah. I mean, and these are people like, engineers get asked to speak at engineering conferences.
Yes, they do.
So why would they not want to be the top engineer on LinkedIn, sharing their business knowledge or their expertise and feedback on a specific project? Like, that is fascinating to me, you know, and it's like, I don't see why, you know, we can't do that for everyone, no matter what field they're in.
totally can. That's super exciting.
Yeah.
I think that's really, it's a fun way of approaching it too, and a different way of approaching helping people. But I do think that everybody has to get their story out there, but they don't really know what part of their story to tell.
Yeah.
You know, the older we get, the more stories we've accumulated. And some of them should be told, but some of them just shouldn't.
Yeah. Oh, yes. There's definitely a lot of cringe-worthy moments.
But sometimes it's the stories that we don't want to tell the most that are actually the ones that are the ones we need to tell. So.
Right. I definitely agree. I mean, I work also, you know, within the startup entrepreneur community here locally. So there's a huge military population here, and there's a lot of vets that are looking to get into business or doing startups. And, you know, the military community as a whole deal a lot with like PTSD and, you know, really trying to transition from a military to civilian life. And they're so used to structure. So like they just need like 5 steps to like tell me what to do on social media. And I'm trying to help change that mentality, because their reason for joining the military or their stories that they learned, you know, as painful as they may be, will help someone then care about their cause, or why, you know, a gentleman that I know, he, you know, is starting a company that's based around family care, and making sure that when, you know, your relatives are older, that they know which type of service to go to. It's almost like Angie's List, but like in a very like more caring way. And he cares about that. That's his why. But he doesn't know how to express that, you know, out in the open and talk about it, because you can't just rely on like your superiors saying, okay, here's, you know, go ahead, you know, you can work. But he's got to get out there. He's got to go out, do lives. He's got to consistently talk about what his purpose is, and that's how his business will flourish. So, I mean, there's a lot of people I meet like that. You know, they all have so much passion, you know, nonprofits and homeless veteran causes, all of that. And it's amazing to see that these people want to give back. And that's their why. And I'm trying to help them do it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's really rewarding, meeting a lot of great people. And that's because I've gotten out and talked to people. You know, I was hiding so much behind my computer for so long, not realizing it. You know, I was just like, I should get clients, come to me, right? Like, why not? I have a resume, you know, a great resume, but no one knew, you know, so.
That's fascinating. So do you have any last final tip for us that we should do, or what should we do besides get in touch with you to help us with our social?
Yeah.
I'm going to admit, I was going through your like intake form.
Yeah.
Before we got on the call, because my calendar reminded me to fill that out. And of course, 10 minutes before the call, I hopped on there and started going through it. It's awesome, by the way.
Thank you.
Going through that alone will help people to think about some things that I know I couldn't answer because I haven't thought about, and that I definitely need to think about and come up with some clearer direction in that area and narrow my focus. But
I think, I mean, I forgot what your question was.
I forgot what it was too, but I think it was along the lines of any last tips of it.
Oh yeah, last
advice or what to tell us to do to get our story out there, or to start telling our story.
Yeah, I think that, you know, one of the things is, I think I hear this a lot from business groups and stuff, and I totally resonate with it. Like, I'm a very visual person, so I understand wanting to get a logo, wanting to get a business name, wanting to get your website up and all that stuff. But I always try to like peel back the onion and see, okay, what do you really want to do in your business? If you don't know that, that's fine. Launch a website with your name. Great. You know, marisacali.com. I don't even have a marisacali.com, but I think I need it sometimes, you know, because I'm like, I want to tell my story outside of my business story, but, you know, they're kind of parallel right now. So it's okay. I love dogs. I get it.
I was telling you, I don't know what's going on lately with these dogs, but we'll usually have dogs and cats crawling around my chair and stuff in back of me. So at least the cats go on today. But My dogs, the dogs are squirrel crazy. So if there's a squirrel, and we live out in the country, so there's squirrels everywhere, but there's one squirrel in particular that taunts the dogs.
Oh my gosh.
Hilarious. So they go crazy.
That's an analogy for business, I guess. You know, there's always going to be that one. It's like waving their tail in front of you, like, come buy my stuff. But yeah, I think, you know, going back to, you know, peeling back the onion and the layers, like you were filling out that form and you were kind of like, okay, what is this one thing that I can, you know, that I can help myself stand out? And I think that being able to go through that form, and it's just part of my process so that I can, you know, eliminate some time in the conversations.
It's an excellent process, by the way.
Yeah.
So I would recommend people follow Marisa's form and at least go through it and fill it out and chat with her.
Yeah. And it really just allows me to like find out where they're at, you know, is say dog. I know he's gonna say what's up.
She's actually bitching at me.
She's like, get off the
She wants me to let her out so she can chase the squirrel.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean,
I'm gonna let you go because I'm embarrassed. No, I don't get embarrassed very much either, so this is kind of funny for me. But I mean, I'm not gonna sit and have us talk over the dogs.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, if you want to connect with me, you can connect with me at all the social. It's on all the platforms, all the social, or you can find me in the Gorilla group, or just Google, not Google me. Ew, no, it's not.
Well, we should Google you because I bet you come up at the top, all the social all the time. So we Google, so people Google you.
Find me on Facebook
too.
Facebook or LinkedIn at Marisa Cali, and you can get my LinkedIn, LinkedIn.com, LinkedIn.allthesocial.com. So it goes right to my LinkedIn profile. So
perfect. Cool. All right. You have a fantastic night. I'm going to go attend to dogs.
Okay.
Thank you so much for putting up with them.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, bye. You're welcome. Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Okay. Yes, I've got to end my recording. Stop.